Hey everybody, welcome to Voices Randomist. I'm your host, Eldridge J. Alexander. If this is your first time joining me tonight, welcome. I don't know why you came, but I'm glad you did. If you're already a subscriber and you've been joining me on a regular, then thanks so much for your loyalty. This is actually, I've been on YouTube since 2019, and I'm honored that you keep finding me. I'm 7 people away, hey or seven subscribers away from I'm 7 subscribers away from having 2,000 subscribers. So I'm going to need your help. So if you have not clicked that button yet and go on and subscribe, because not only do I engage in dialogue to enlighten, uplift, and inspire you, I also share some of our fashion tips. Tonight, we're going to be talking about Eric Adams and the whole thing with the quid pro quo. And for those of you who don't know what that is, I'm going to share that and I'm going to break down what quid pro quo is. I'm also talk a little bit about John Amos before we get started. And then I have a couple of other little tips that I want to talk about. Let's just get right into me sharing my screen and we're going to honor John Amos. So really, I didn't even know John Amos had died. That's what's really sad about it is I didn't know he died. And so when I was hearing everybody talking about him having passed away, of course, it was a shock to me, just like it probably was to a lot of you. Although they, there was some speculation about why what happened, how did he die and stuff like that, because of a few things that transpired before he passed away, with some questions about how his finances were being handled. But apparently he passed away, and a few days after he passed away, he was cremated. So his cause of death has been revealed. He died of a heart attack. He died of, they said, congestive heart failure on August 21st at 5:18 p.m. And that's what's really bothering me or baffling, not really bothering me, but baffling, because normally you hear about these deaths of these stars right away. It's plastered everywhere. And this is one of America's, if the Black America, okay, one of our favorite dads. Everybody loved James Evans, all right? So he died from heart failure on August 21st. They reveals that the Good Time Star remains were cremated on August 30th, 9 days after he died. His son, Kelly Christopher Casey Amos, was listed as the informant who reported his death to Los Angeles County, and Casey is also seemingly in possession of the father's ashes. So for those of you who watch Good Times and Roots and anything else that John Amos was in, you know how much we really loved him. He was a great actor. So rest in peace, John Amos, and know that you were loved and everything. So yeah, there he is, y'all. That's the favorite father, him in Florida. And what's really nice about that is that he and Esther Rolle really fought to portray the family unit being intact and him being a strong father, even though there were a lot of times when I know that he was asked to step outside of what our culture character would be, and he wouldn't do it because there were things that he didn't want to portray on screen, like that being an absentee father or being someone who was violent or what have you. And there's some really good episodes where you see James really step up, not only for his family, but for other families. So I would invite you, if you haven't looked at the old Good Times episodes, go out to Pluto TV or I think it's on Pluto. That's where I was. They have a Sanford and Son, Good Times, the Jeffersons. And so if you want to watch three great fathers, go watch those shows. All right. Rest in peace, John Amos. And thank y'all for entertaining that right away. All right. I'm going to go into the quid pro quo stuff on Eric Adams. I'm going to stop sharing my screen right now because I really want to bring up something else before we get into the Eric Adams. I don't know if y'all saw this, but let me share this with you. This blew my mind. This is from today. And I just saw this on CNN. Blew me away that dozens of suspected white supremacist gang members were arrested in Los Angeles area in domestic terrorism investigation. Apparently 68 suspected gang members with ties to white supremacy were arrested today in a large-scale takedown. Now, the thing about it is that I'm really interested in what's really going to happen now that they've arrested them. A total of 68 gang members charged in Los Angeles, large-scale operation, and this is a federal prosecution that's going on. You know what blew my mind with this, y'all? You want to know what the name of the gang is? And for those of you who don't know, I talked about this on my TikTok channel. I'm 66 years old. I was born in 1958. That means I'm a baby boomer. And baby boomers, we've seen Jim Crow. We've seen a lot of things in our life. I mean, really, me born 3 years after Brown Board versus the Board of Education. If things had gone differently, I wouldn't have been able to go to school, public school, you know. So I'm very grateful for all my education. I do have my bachelor's degree with a concentration in communication as well as African studies. The degrees are behind me, y'all. I could pull them down and show you that here they are, you know. You see that? Big old, you see that thing right there? You see that graduate school? That's a master's degree. And then I have a whole bunch of other certificates in my bachelor's and stuff up there. So really, just to let you know that I know what I'm talking about, but the biggest thing is I'm a hell of a researcher. I will find that needle in that haystack. I really will. One of the things about this group is they were named the Peckerwoods. And Peckerwoods was a name that was given to white people back in the days of Jim Crow, when that was how we referred to them, it's Peckerwoods. So yeah, the Peckerwoods gang is based in Los Angeles, San Fernando Valley, and they're essentially a local chapter of the Aryan Brotherhood. And Akil Davis is FBI's assistant director in charge of the Los Angeles field office. So he said they engage in a wide variety of criminal activity, including drug trafficking, fraud, violence, and identity theft, the U.S. Attorney said. So you got Vance running around here talking about Mexican immigrants and Haitian immigrants paying them, and you right here, you got white Peckerwoods, which they call themselves, that are the people that are preparing themselves. And so with me seeing this, I'm kind of glad I saw it, because it further confirms that we need to be ready at all times and stay ready and don't wait to get ready. I'll tell you what else I saw. When I went to our home improvement store. Like, I don't know where people have big box stores, like those big box home improvement stores, but I went to the one that we have here. It's called Menards. And when I went to Menards, y'all won't believe what I saw sitting out like in big giant droves. And I'm gonna go back tomorrow. I bought two, but I'm probably gonna go back and buy like 3 or 4 more. They're survival kits. And inside the survival kit, there's flashlights, there's matches, there's food, all of this stuff that's like the survivalists have. And I've never seen them as many times and as often as I've gone to that Menards in the last few months, because I was having home improvement thing done in my house, like buying wood and all that. I've been all through that store. And when I went back last week to get additional crates to store things in, because I'm getting ready to do a big Poshmark show. Don't forget to join me and subscribe to my channel so that you will know what I'm doing, because I'm actually going to do a Poshmark show where I have all of these new clothes and things that were sent to me by vendors, and I'm going to be selling them at a fraction of the cost. Probably won't be anything over $20 or $25. And I'm talking new with tags, beautiful stuff from Poshmark that I'll have there, but it's from Zara. You'll see stuff from Express. You'll see things from H&M, maybe a few things from Shein, but Banana Republic, and when the Limited was in business then, but for the most part, it's Zara, Express, all those types of stores. All right, back to what I was saying. So, for example, the Peckerwoods gang, while everybody is focused on immigrants, in the meantime, you have Aryan Brotherhood aligning themselves, with other factions. So it says, in aligning themselves with the Aryan Brotherhood, local gang members are able to commit a variety of crimes on the outside and give the money to their incarcerated counterparts, Estrada said. The gang also benefits from the Brotherhood's alliance with the Mexican mafia, giving them greater freedom to commit crimes on the outside. So really, who do we need to worry about? It's not the immigrants that are coming in as committing crimes. You have citizens here that are members of white supremacist groups that are in cahoots with people incarcerated, as well as Mexican mafia, to make sure that they can bring in money, drugs, and everything else. Now, again, like I said, what truly distinguishes them and defines them is their hate and their animus, right? They're really, really, really racially motivated to do things against ethnic and religious minorities, Estrada said. And Estrada was the FBI agent that was reading. And they said they previously arrested a member, made online threats against Jews, and they found hateful messages at his home. The gang embraces the name Peckerwoods, which is tried to disguise the previously used derogatory name for Caucasians in the prison system. It wasn't only in the prison system. I can tell you that my parents, that's how they referred to people in the South, as Peckerwoods. And a lot of other people that I know that were traditionalists, and the traditionalists are the group that came before me, which is my parents. And then there's a group which is my grandparents, which came before my parents. And I don't even know if they gave them a name. But when you think about traditionalists, you're thinking about people that were born in the 1930s and the 1940s. When you're thinking about boomers, you were thinking about people that were born in the 1950s and the 1960s. And we went through hell so that people could be able to be on these apps and talk shit. That's literally what it boils down to. You have the right to get on apps and call people bitches and hoes and talk about people like dogs and say whatever the hell you want, because people like me and other people before me marched and did what we had to do in the name of freedom and in the name of civil rights. You better vote right so that you get to keep that, because if you've never had seen oppression, you have no idea what it's like. And I can tell you, I still feel the pain and the trauma of the things that I've gone through, of not being able to walk into certain places and people telling me that I can't come in. You know, it's deep. Y'all have no idea. All right, let me just get to recording on this now. I think, oh, I am recording. Cool. Anyway. So basically, during this investigation, first of all, the group displays their affiliation with neo-Nazi Nazi ideologically through, oh God, I can't even talk tonight. That's because I'm so stressed out and kind of like uptight because of all the things that are going on right now. So let me just back up. During the investigation, law enforcement seized large quantities of illegal firearms, bomb-making components, and dozens of pounds of fentanyl, methamphetamine, and heroin. They display their affiliation with neo-Nazi ideology through tattoos, clothing, and social media. And that's the thing, is why I do a lot of fashion videos, because people don't really understand a lot of the connection between what fashion is and the political statements that it's making. And one of my next videos, I'm going to do a video on clothing and why you do need to change your clothing, the rhetoric of clothing, right? Stokely Carmichael, Kwame Ture was a master at that. And when I talk about Black Power, I'm going to show you how he used clothing in order to calm his audiences down or to excite his audiences, depending on who he was talking to. I'm also going to talk about code switching in another video, and why code switching and fashion go hand in hand. So there's a whole lot of things that are enveloped in fashion. And that's why I call it fact and fashion, because there are a lot of facts around why you wear certain fashion. Last thing I want to say about fashion real quick is I am going to talk about the flip-flop in the body ideologies. And what I mean by that is for the last, I would say 8 or 9 years, they've been promoting having a big ass, getting a BBL, and all of these women fell for it. And now they're going back to the Kate Moss look. And for those of you who don't know what the Kate Moss look, it was the WAIF look, WAIF look. And what it was is you were super skinny. You were so skinny, they said it was called heroin chic. That's what they're going back to. If you look at the clothes, you're going to find that clothing is going to have a lot less spandex in it. And that's a way of making bodies conform too, believe it or not. But anyway, that's a whole another whole dialogue. All right, let me go get on into this Eric Adams quid pro quo quote. All right, first of all, welcome. Welcome. Thanks a lot again for being here. And I'm going to slide this over because I want to be able to read my notes, okay? And I just I'm going to read them off my phone. What the hell? I got them in here. So I hope you're having a sip and a seat. If you haven't subscribed, now's the time for you to go on and subscribe, because of the fact that while I'm looking up the Eric Adams thing, I have it on my phone, because that's what I do, is I compile all the articles first of all, and then I get into it and see, you know, what is happening. All right, let me see if I can get down here and find, where is it? That's not it. All right, I'm gonna stop sharing. All right, first of all, I got it right here. I pulled it up on my phone. So Eric Adams is the mayor of New York, for those of you who may not necessarily be familiar with who he is, right? And he's been accused of bribery and corruption. And one of the things that I really wanted to talk about in terms of bribery and corruption is what it really is in terms of corporate America, what we call it. And when I was the director, one of the culture transformation leaders at the last place that I worked, and I won't mention the name of the company, we used to take this compliance e-learning module every year because we hired vendors. Like I would have to source and hire external vendors for things like classes that we were going to do, or even products or merchandise, all those types of things, right? And so you look for certain criteria when you're searching for a vendor, but there's also things that you have to make sure that you are aware of. And one of them is quid pro quo. And what that means is that if you do something for me, I'll do something for you, right? And it's a contingency-based agreement that I'm only going to give you this if you give me that, which is really something that in business dealings is illegal, especially in government. When I was looking for work after I first got my degree in 2002, I remember applying for a job at the city of Milwaukee as one of the people who do the paperwork and help people get certified for licensing, like tavern licensing, any type of business licensing, right? And the amount of paperwork and the checks and balances are there for a reason. They are there to deter people from wanting to commit bribery and quid pro quo fraud. Quid pro quo is a Latin term meaning something for something, and in legal terms, it refers to an exchange where one party provides something of value in return for a favor or an advantage. Now, in the political realm and in legal context, in case, particularly in bribery and corruption, you already can see the writing on the wall. So as far as Mayor Adams, basically the charges, I'm going to go in and look at those charges for you real quick, the specific charges that he has. So let's go in here and take a look at Mayor Eric Adams. All right, let's close out the white supremacy stuff. And let's get to him. I got it right here. I have all the stuff that I need. So for example, he is indicted on 5 federal charges: conspiracy to commit wire fraud, federal program bribery, receiving campaign contributions from foreign nationals, wire fraud, and solicitation of contributions from foreign nationals. Now I'm going to open, there's an article here, and I'm going to go on and share my screen with you so you can see where my sources are, and we'll talk about what we know. So hopefully you can see my screen. Eric Adams indictment, New York mayor charged. So let's see what we get if anything comes up. I hate these commercials on here, right? So as soon as the commercial goes away, then we'll be able to see. But see, let's talk about what we know about him. He was here with the 5 charges that we just talked about. He denied wrongdoing at Defiant News Conference. He asked New Yorkers to wait to hear the defense before making any judgments. His administration is in shock. People all over the country are looking at this and they're calling on him to resign and literally searching his home. Literally searching his home to find other things. His Grace Mansion, the morning accorded. So there you have it. You have everything up where this man is doing things that he has no business doing. All right, let's get back to the charges, the next thing that he did. So here, one key allegation is that he helped Turkish officials bypass a fire safety inspection for a new diplomatic tower in New York. In return, he received free business class flights and stays at opulent hotels. So let's go in and look at this. And I'm not sure. So here it is, y'all. I don't even know how I found this, but I told y'all I'll be researching my ass off. I'll be looking, but here's the indictment. It's the United States versus Eric Adams, criminal 556. And then here he is. He's Brooklyn borough president. Thereafter, for nearly a decade, he sought and accepted improper valuable benefits. A whole 10 years, y'all. A whole 10 years. They said that he received more than $10 million in matching public funds. Federal prosecutors announced charges on Thursday against New York City Mayor Eric Adams, accusing the former police captain of taking illegal campaign contributions and bribes from foreign nationals, including lavish trips overseas in exchange for favors that include helping Turkish officials bypass a fire safety inspection for a new diplomatic tower in the city. Now, the reason why I brought up the fact that I applied for the job at the city for the licensing department because I know the paper trail. He knew there was a paper trail behind this. You don't get any licensing or get past any fire safety. There's a whole trail of documents that has to be filled and signed off by the fire inspector. So that was just SOS to me. And then on other things, they say he received a free and steeply discounted flight upgrades valued at more than $100,000, y'all. Free stays in opulent hotel suites, expensive meals, as well as campaign contributions from straw donors. Some of them helped qualify for more than $10 million in matching public campaign funds. He said, I want to be clear, these upgrades and freebies were not part of some frequent flyer or benefit programs available to the general public. U.S. Attorney General Damon Williams said at the news conference. He said this was a multi-year scheme to buy favor from a single New York City official on the rise. And in exchange for the bribes, Adams took actions that appeared to benefit Turkey's leaders, including expediting the fire safety inspection at the consulate building and not releasing a statement on Armenian Genocide Remembrance Day, according to the indictment. Adams had a duty to disclose the gifts he received, but year after year, he kept the public in the dark. And this is why I brought up quid pro quo. When I was a leader in corporate, you had to take these e-learning modules, like I said, on compliance and quid pro quo, and they told you what the limits were. And it's usually, you're not supposed to take anything over $50, like a gift certificate or tickets for something. You're not, because it can be misconstrued as quid pro quo. That's why you don't take the gifts. And that's why if you do get something in excess of the amount that's approved for gift receipt by the company that you work for so you can stand alone, you need to go check with HR. You need to go read the policy, make sure you have taken the most recent compliance e-learning module or read the handbook, and then go see HR if you got questions. I remember one time I was working at the gas company, and this was back in the early 80s. And the construction department had some barricades blocking this one business that was a big restaurant, and they used to get a lot of food in. And they called, and I happened to be a supervisor at the time. The call got transferred to me because the agent couldn't really override anything. So I contacted the people in construction and got them to do whatever they need. I explained to them the dinner hour, blah, blah, blah. They did whatever they had to do. Those people sent me a gift certificate back then. I think it was $60 before I could use it at their restaurant. Don't you think I took that down to HR and said, hey, can I even accept this? I went to my leader first and said, she said, go to HR. When I went to HR, I made them put something in writing that said that it was okay for me to accept that gift certificate from Jake's Steakhouse. I wasn't taking jack from Jake's unless it was okay with the people down in HR. It's that simple. I'm not finna lose my job over those $60 damn, okay? It ain't that serious. Now, for him, this is just stupid because we know there's gonna be a paper trail, and as soon as somebody don't get something or they want something else and you don't give it to them, your ass is grass. And this is literally what he's facing now. So speaking outside his Gracie mansion, he denied wrongdoing and said he don't plan to resign. Well, he's saying he wants New Yorkers to wait and hear the defense. His lawyer is arguing that the conduct described in the charges either wasn't illegal or it didn't involve the mayor, noting that the free flights are commonly afforded to politicians. He said Adams had responded to a courtesy request from a Turkish official seeking to expedite a fire inspection at the new consulate. He said New Yorkers do this all the time. So, yeah, they have seized his electronic devices a year ago as part of the investigation. And trust me, they wouldn't be indicting him unless they find something on that damn hard drive. So don't tell me that you was just out there searching and that you weren't looking at things that you don't have no business. And if you received all the money that they said, $10 million and $100,000 in travel, your ass is on the line, buddy. You sought contributions from foreign officials who are banned by law from donating to U.S. public campaigns. Then you compounded your gaming by gaming the city's matching funds, which provides a generous match for smaller donations, prosecutors allege. In the total campaign, he received $10 million in matching fund, which is supposed to be available to candidates who play by the rules, and apparently they didn't play by the rules because in 2021, a Turkish official told Adams it was time to repay him for the contributions. I told you, you cannot dance to the music and don't pay the piper, right? Godly, what is wrong with people? So he wanted the fire department to facilitate the opening of the consulate without a fire inspection in time for Turkey's president. And that request would have been a few months before Adams took office. But after it was clear that he would become mayor, right? So even the fire department warned the mayor that major defects at the consulate building had left it unsafe to occupy. And then Adams pushed safety officials to allow it to open. Mm-mm-mm. And then he relayed the approval to the Turkish official later, who called Adams a true friend of Turkey, the indictment says. You are my brother. I am here to help, according to the indictment. Several months later, the Turkish official messaged an Adams staffer with another request that the mayor not make any statement about the Armenian genocide ahead of an April Remembrance Day, according to the indictment. The staffer confirmed that Adams wouldn't mention it, which he didn't. The Turkish government denies that the 1915 killing of an estimated 1.5 million Armenians qualifies as genocide. At times, Adams created and instructed others to create fake paper trails in order to falsely suggest that he had paid for travel benefits that were actually free. Prosecutors allege, seeing he deleted messages with others involved in his misconduct at one point, assuring a co-conspirator he always deleted his text messages. That is the damn dumbest thing. Don't you know you could put acid on a fucking hard drive and it will be, you find the information. I'm sorry, y'all. Swear just came out. Sorry about the expletive. But that's just so stupid. Like I said, when I went down there and saw how much paperwork it is that you have to give for a damn liquor license, imagine what it takes to put up a building. So for me, this was just stupid. And they said the federal prosecutors are believed to be leading multiple separate inquiries involving Adam and his senior aides, relatives of the aides, campaign fundraising, and possible influence peddling of the police and fire departments. I told you, just like I said last week, if you watch my video on Diddy, and he's an HR nightmare, and is this a cover up for what's really happening in politics? This proves my point. There is so much corruption, not only in the entertainment music industry, which you see what's going on with Diddy, but it is insidious throughout businesses as well and through law. As you can see, particularly in government. This is ridiculous. How you gonna say that you're not guilty, but then you asking people to cover shit up and you deleting things on your hard drive and deleting text messages? That's really stupid. So if you want to read the full indictment, the link is going to be here in the video so that you can actually go. Here's the indictment. I'm going to download this indictment and I'm going to save it under Eric Adams, and I'm going to put it under my desktop stuff, under my Facebook videos, and leave it there. All right. So that's enough on Eric Adams. I just want to know what your frequency is on that. Do you believe him when he's talking about he didn't do anything wrong? Hell no, I don't believe him. I think he did everything they said he did. He did it all. So we talked about John Amos and the fact that he's gone, rest in peace, and then this whole Eric Adams thing. I want to know what you think about this, right? I really want to know what your frequency is on the fact that we can't trust anybody anymore. I want to thank you for tuning in tonight. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please subscribe to the channel. I'm 7 people away from 2,000 subscribers. Trust and believe. I love being on the channel. Like I said, I started the channel when my husband passed away because it gives me an opportunity to share all the information and knowledge and wisdom that I've acquired over the 66 years of my life. Don't forget to watch my fashion videos. And then there's communication and culture. That's Tea Kettle Talk with me and the ladies. And I will also be bringing guests on the show so that you can learn things from other people, because we obviously, all of us don't know everything all the time. So what I really want to do is make sure that I bring other people on here who engage, enlighten, inspire, and uplift and motivate you to do other things in your life. All right, before we move on to the next topic, I just want to see if there's anything else on Adams that I missed. Okay, no. So I think that's pretty much it. I think that he's giving people license to say, see, that's why we don't let them in office. And I got to tell you one thing that really bothers me is the fact that when we do get in office, why do we do stupid shit that takes away our power, and then we'll never be able to help anybody else? Because as the mayor, you have the ability to help so many people in your community, but if you let greed and your personal your personal desires take over, then of course the shit's gonna hit the fan. All right. I want to read something to you by a person by the name of Easter O. Wright. And it's about a person named Bobby E. Wright. And this is somebody that maybe people don't know who Bobby E. Wright is. I don't know if I should read it here because it'll probably take a little bit. So I think I'll do it in another video. Again, I want to thank you so much for tuning in tonight. If you haven't subscribed, go on and subscribe to the channel, because what's going to happen is that you're going to eventually, I'm going to end up with those other 7 people. I'll hit 2,000 subscribers, and then I'm going to go through all my subscriber lists, and I want to do another giveaway. We did a giveaway when we got to 1,000 subscribers. We gave away a $50 gift card, and that was when we were doing Tea Kettle Talk. And now that I'm Voices Randomness Live, with my guests, I am probably going to do a giveaway. But you got to give me the 2,000 subscribers so we can go. And I know for some people say 2,000 subscribers, that ain't nothing. It's a lot more than I had in 2019 when I started the channel. I didn't have any subscribers. So the fact that people do come and that you gradually build your channel, it means that people desire the information that you put out there, and then that they are going to tune in. And so that's what I'm really hoping is that you find the content that I'm sharing with you from my life, from the things that I'm going through, especially how I'm managing my grief, because I don't think a lot of people talk about grief. Menopause. Oh God, that was so funny when that was hilarious, y'all. I have to tell y'all about the time when I went to the doctor and she did my test to see what my hormone level was. The look on her face, she was like, but I gotta tell y'all, I feel so good. I feel so good tonight. And I want to thank you again for joining. All right. We've been on this call for 33 minutes. Y'all need to go on and do what you got to do, because I know you might have to get up in the morning. And then you see this rack behind me, right? I have things that I have to film. I have some fits I got to do. And then I got to prepare for my Poshmark show that I'm going to be doing on Friday morning. Don't forget to subscribe to Eldridge J. Alexander, Voices Random, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok. And then join me on my Poshmark Friday. I'm going to be doing a sale, and nothing over $25. I'll see you next Tuesday. Have a great day. Or now, don't have a great night. Have an amazing night. And don't forget to go into the comments and tell me, do you think that Eric Adams should resign right now, or do you think that he should wait it out? That's my question for you. And I just really want you to engage in the comments. Should Eric Adams resign now, or should he wait? Right? What's your frequency? And when I say what's your frequency, I'm asking you, what are your thoughts? Go on and engage in the comments, and we'll continue this conversation there. You have a great night, and I'll see you next time on Voices Randomness. Take care.